don't care where I fight. I'll go anywhere, any place, any day, any time. Hey, I'll do it.
The former three-time champion of the world, the Professor Azumah Nelson.
Weighing in at an even 126 pounds. This young man has a record of 42 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 30 knockouts. Mexico City, Mexico, the World Boxing Council featherweight champion, here is Salvador Sanchez.
He was the king of one of the largest boxing scenes on the planet. Salvador Sanchez grew up in a small mountain town thousands of feet above sea level in Mexico. His morning road work took place at the rim of a volcano.
This isolated farming community has been the training ground for the man they call the Little Giant.
It showed in his immaculate cardio. Salvador seemed to be able to diagnose an opponent's style in real time. He knew exactly what they wanted to do, and he took that off the table.
Va para adelante y mete a la izquierda y clava a la derecha y castiga a los bajos.
And another topping right hand. Garcia with a right hand, and that's for it. Timer has counted down, so we're depending on the officials.
He's hurt. Gomez is hurt. A TKO win in the 8th round for Salvador Sanchez.
And his high elevation training meant he never seemed to waver or tire over a 15-round distance. After a dominant championship reign at 126, he was headed for a showdown with Panamanian great Eusebio Pedrosa, or gaining weight for a fight with 130-pound legend Alexis Arguello. Just weeks out from a fight, Salvador's opponent pulls out. He's replaced with an obscure contender from Ghana by the name of Azumah Nelson. He grew up middle class in the city of Accra on Africa's Gold Coast. He's only fought outside of his homeland one time. Just 13-0, some called him undeserving. He didn't have a hope in hell of surviving Salvador Sanchez.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's scheduled 15-round World Boxing Council Featherweight Championship bout is being presented live by Don King Sports and Entertainment Network Incorporated.
The opening round was a source of optimism. Azumah is leading with his left hook and using his jab to keep the champion on the retreat.
Sanchez. Nelson is first down here.
Feinting to the body and coming upstairs with power. Feet fleet enough to keep pace with the Mexican genius. It was clear that Azumah's sparse record was no indication of his skills. As usual, Salvador settles in for the long haul.
Sanchez always comes to fight. He always prepares himself. Sanchez.
That's right. He's forcing the fight. He's throwing the lead. Right hand by Azumah Nelson. That right hand looks dangerous, Larry.
Look very good.
Sanchez, the champion, in the red for the WBC.
Fight defense, you always got to be first. What more you wait to get hit?
Now a left hook by Nelson. Nelson is a pretty good fighter. We have never seen him, as we said. He has no fear in him. Sanchez is a great fighter. He's leading the fight. He's forcing the fight.
He's really showing at least he's putting on this in the second round. A good
Let's see
2
the
rounds.
round.
The third was all Sanchez.
But he also fought here as an amateur in the World Cup.
Seeing the need to tame down his unheralded contender, Salvador puts his hands to work with unreal timing and precision.
Right hand by seconds left in the round. Sanchez got 2 good right hands in.
Azumah keeps up the pressure, undaunted by the terrifying calm of the champion. Azumah recommits to body punching, rising to the championship level of the man in front of him. He wasn't here to win respect. He came here to win a championship. As the rounds rolled by, it looked like he was going to do just that. Without warning or telegraph, Sanchez times a staggering left hook. Azumah stands his ground and throws back. Sanchez hits him with that same hook on the back end of a combination. Despite getting rocked twice in 10 seconds, Azumah's legs are still rock steady.
Sanchez is smart. He's taking his time.
To start the 8th, Sanchez snipes with his left hook again.
Left hook again. His legs are in pretty bad shape. Any kind of a solid punch and I could put him down.
Salvador came alive down the stretch and clawed his way back on the cards.
What I'm saying that Sanchez had to do, and this is what he's doing again, is boxing, not getting into no wars.
He's forcing the fight. He's pushing Sanchez up against the ropes, looking to knock him out. Round 11.
Sanchez is starting to take punches now.
After 14 rounds, the judges have a split draw. Round 15 was everything. While Salvador Sanchez had fought to the fullest and looked impeccable doing it.
Still looking for a punch, and there it is. The right hand with 15 seconds to go.
It's down. Azumah had never gone past 10 before, but Azumah Nelson wasn't going to let his opportunity pass by.
And he got his mouth open, so you know it's possible that he can have his jaw broke.
That's right.
He pounces on Salvador. The Mexican champion stands stoic, unflinching under fire, with the stamina to remain sharp as a razor on defense. Salvador saw Azumah was determined to knock him out, and that would be his ultimate undoing. With a weary arm and blurry eyes, Azumah Nelson walks on to that same left hook that rocked him in the 7th. It was a beautiful left uppercut that put Azumah down once more. Salvador keeps the left hook spamming, and the ref pulls him away. Salvador Sanchez again proves his greatness over 15.
Sanchez defends his title successfully against one of the gamest fighters I have ever seen, Larry.
And Azumah Nelson becomes a red-hot prospect overnight. They called him the Professor.
Your left jab was a thing of beauty that controlled the fight.
That's right. You know, that's why I call Professor. Nobody can name you Professor without nothing.
A nickname that only became more relevant over the years. Sadly, Salvador's greatness would be cut tragically short, a terrible ending to an unparalleled talent. One man's fall is another's rise. While the boxing world mourns its champion, Azumah goes back to work. He fought his way back into a title shot against legendary Puerto Rican KO artist Wilfredo Gomez for the 126-pound championship.
The WBC Featherweight Championship. Wilfredo Gomez, the champion, 41-1-1 with 40 knockouts. And Azumah Nelson, 19-1 with 14 KOs. We're ready to go.
Because he may want to do a little more boxing. Right
and
now,
just like in the Sanchez fight, Azumah Nelson brought pressure all night.
from time to time, he can get hit. And I think the jab is what Nelson would like to establish early.
But Azumah Nelson appears to be a little bit bigger.
Gomez's elite foot speed proved tough to catch up with in the early rounds.
Nelson in the red trunks. That's a slip.
But nobody can run forever. When Gomez finally decided to stand his ground, he proved why he was the greatest boxer ever at 122 pounds.
Will be cheered wildly by this large crowd.
He's really only connected one solid body shot, and that's about all. Well, the left hand connected on Nelson.
You know, because of that redness around the eye, you can see it. It's told Gomez that he's got to go after Nelson.
Neither fighter is mistaken here. Right hand by Nelson.
Overhand right. It was a slapping punch, but it seemed to do a little bit of damage to Gomez. He could put on a clinic for bending the rules in boxing.
Gomez missing with a looping left.
Wilfredo's lateral movement was a constant wear on his legs. Azumah's steady forward motion kept him in range to engage.
Looks with another right.
Now there's the uppercut from Nelson, and I tell you, that's a very effective weapon. He's got Gomez holding on right now.
It kept Wilfredo working and up on his toes. It kept him within striking distance.
Well, Gomez now is scoring a little bit better here in the fifth. Well, that left hand certainly got Azumah Nelson's attention, but not a whole lot more, really.
The bell has rung, and the referee didn't hear it. The bell has rung at the end of this round. The referee still doesn't hear it. This round is officially over, but the referee is not stopping the action.
And despite a valiant effort, world champion Wilfredo Gomez was seeing his title slip away.
Left hand by Gomez, his best combination of the fight so far.
He made sure if his title would be lost, it wouldn't be without a
The
fight.
champion, Wilfredo Gomez, has had his work cut out for him tonight by this most impressive challenger from Ghana, Azumah Nelson.
This is the same posture Gomez was against Sanchez. Got in all kinds of trouble. He does not fight well off the ropes normally, but he has a big one.
Less than a half a minute to go in round 7.
Gomez has landed at least 10 punches low, and there's another one just in this round. Incredible round. This is what Wilfredo Gomez is made of. He's been hurt, but look at him come back in this round. TKO over Pintor, so he can do it.
Oh, and the jab had affected Nelson. Backed him up for the first time. Come to the end of round 9. The left hand. Oh, and a big right hand by Azumah Nelson.
That hurt him. Nelson is punching much straighter. A change in the way they were fighting earlier. Oh, good right by.
Good overhand right, but once again not having any significant effect on Azumah Nelson.
Hit with some good shots by Gomez.
Oh, he's stunned! Gomez is stunned! Trying desperately to hang on. A right hand by Nelson. Another right hand.
It took 11 hellish rounds before Azumah caught him with a left hook as they circled out of a clinch.
Gomez nearly out on his feet.
It's getting larger.
What a left hook by Nelson. Gomez nearly out on his feet.
He's down! He's down! Wilfredo Gomez.
With one final right hand, Wilfredo Gomez melts into a puddle in the Puerto Rican heat.
And again, Wilfredo Gomez is out round. Azumah Nelson has become only the 6th African in history to become a champion of the world, joining David Cote.
Azumah was reaching his potential as featherweight champion, evolving into a problem for every style. He had unquestionable heart and cardio, but against Pat Cowdell, all anybody could talk about was his power. It took a mere 2 minutes for Azumah to unleash the most brutal one-shot KO of his career.
But the big one, he stopped Wilfredo Gomez in 11 in Puerto Rico.
Now, however, he came out on the offensive, trying to outspeed Azumah. Azumah very patiently. You can see almost immediately the difference in the quality of the punches. The champion punching with his body and very hard.
For 12. Oh, and Nelson with the short uppercut puts Cowdell down.
In 1988, Azumah goes up in weight for the first time and is up at 130 pounds. Even rising in weight, Azumah took the toughest fight he could. He went up to 130 pounds and took out Mario Martinez in a tough and tense title fight. But after 12 close rounds, Azumah had earned a championship in a second weight class. Azumah took the rematch with Martinez almost a year to the day later. This time, Azumah wouldn't let the judges have a say. He dropped the former champion in the last round with a left hook and then swarmed on the brave ex-champion to stop him.
Oh, he's hit now! He's hurt bad! And a nice finish for Azumah Nelson.
Again, Azumah's ambition would outgrow his division to take on Pernell Whitaker.
This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. In the red corner, fighting out of Accra, Ghana, Azumah, the Warrior, Nelson. From Norfolk, Virginia, weighing an even 135 pounds, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Azumah was a smaller man going up for the second time, given the monumental task of chasing down the smoothest operator in lightweight history.
And he said he would have no compunction about chasing the slightly bigger Whitaker.
Azumah was committed to the chase. He had no choice but to press the pace while Pernell played a master matador.
Incidentally, most of the instructions in Whitaker's corner are being delivered not by Azumah, but by George Benson.
He jabbed and evaded Azumah with style, waltzing his way around the pressure fighter. Forcing the African warrior into a series of limited skirmishes.
You don't build speed, you create accuracy.
He's had his hands on two of the greatest in the sport.
As opposed to the all-out war Azumah wanted.
Solid right hand landed inside by Nelson, and Whitaker seemed to jump backward for a second.
Azumah comes forward, squared up in that same crossguard that Joe Frazier and Henry Armstrong once used to chase down the greatest movers of their respective generations.
In the first round, Nelson only threw 4 jabs, but Whitaker
is missing a lot of big punches, Azumah Nelson is. When you miss those kind of punches, it can take so much from you.
Solid left hand from Whitaker. Incidentally, should you have any doubt whatsoever,
Azumah did his best to run down the brilliant southpaw, but the rounds ran out before Pernell ran out of gas. Azumah came up short for the first time since his inauspicious debut against Salvador all those years ago. Azumah returns to 126 pounds, while wondering after the loss how much more he had left in the tank. Azumah would get his gut check against a rabid Australian by the name of Jeff Fenech.
The undefeated Jeff Fenech.
Fenech was a frenzy at the worst of times, but going into the fight with Nelson, he had every advantage. Azumah caught malaria in training that nearly killed him. Jeff was bigger and younger and fought with a smothering style designed to close the distance and do damage. That reduces boxing down to its simplest form: a fight in the phone booth.
Heavy body blows right now.
Great combination by Nelson. Usually fights in front of sellout crowds of 15,000 or more in inner city Marrickville, the son of poor Maltese migrants.
Good motion by Azumah Nelson. He put it.
There's the best punch by Fenech all night.
A slugging contest along the ropes. They threw in 4s and 5s at a time.
Fenech continues to press the attack.
They threw single shots designed for destruction.
Some monster punches.
And while it was Jeff Fenech that came boring in every round with intense pressure,
Fenech continues to be the aggressor.
he went back to his corner, having generally gotten the worst of it. By round 3, he's bleeding and only gets more beat up from there.
That spot, he must like it. He took a hammering there in that last third round.
But nothing was going to convince Fenech to take a step back.
And back comes Fenech.
And back comes Fenech. What a display of guts on the part of both men.
It was as fast and violent a fight as any that's ever happened at 130 pounds. But down the stretch, it looked like Fenech was dictating the pace.
Fenech again, turning it on. Those are glancing blows off the shoulder by Nelson. Fenech.
There they are on the ropes again, and it's Fenech's round again. Nice inside uppercut by Azumah.
He's got Nelson on the defensive once again. Nelson trying to battle his way out.
And he seems to sense it. He's going with everything he's got. Our corner. One of a long line of warriors to come out of Africa.
It will go down as one of the most difficult to score fights in all of boxing history. It was officially a draw.
Well, fans, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision, 114 to 114, a draw. The decision is even a draw.
An immediate rematch was held. This time it was in Jeff's backyard in Melbourne. It took place in a literal monsoon. And this time Azumah Nelson arrived in the Outback at his brilliant best. He knew Fenech would be right in front of him. All Azumah had to do was hit him as hard as he could.
From Marrickville, Sydney, Australia, Jeff Fenech. Wearing white trunks with Technicolor marking, hailing from Accra, Ghana, Azumah Nelson.
Others just feel that Azumah Nelson just ran out of gas.
Coming on with superior boxing skill, but it was just the opening minutes.
Fenech, being the street fighter he is, uses anything and everything to gain the edge. Of course, in that first battle, Fenech threw a volume of punches at Azumah Nelson, but couldn't to Julio Cesar Chavez. He likes to accumulate. There's a right, and down goes Fenech.
And that's a right hand we talked about, that long right.
Condition of his hands, he said emphatically, my hands are fine. There was speculation that he broke a hand after the first fight. Oh, he went down again. Azumah Nelson, a crackling left. Nelson fighting from the corner.
While Fenech brought the same frenzied energy to the second fight, he couldn't handle the full strength of a healthy Azumah Nelson.
That's a hook, right there it is. Right there it is.
And down goes Fenech for the third time of the fight. He was just waiting for the moment.
The attack.
Wait a minute, McKinney steps in and it's all over. It's all over.
It was all over. He said it was going to be over in round 7.
Retaining the WBC Super Featherweight Championship of the World, Azumah Nelson.
By this time, Azumah is fighting the clock as much as his opponents. He was an old man, fighting young ones in a sport where youth will eventually be served. Just when the world is ready to write him off, Azumah would come back and prove an old lion was still dangerous. He fought for 20 years. In those 2 decades, Salvador Sanchez was the only man who ever stopped him. Azumah Nelson was tenured for 2 decades at the top of his class. After his retirement, the professor truly became a teacher, an inspiration to his countrymen, and the very roots of a boxing scene in a place where one barely existed. Now there's a 10,000-seat stadium with his name on it. Ghana has produced 8 world champions to date. None has come close to the genius of Ghana's boxing professor.